You know, that kind of situation that starts quietly behind the scenes, almost unnoticed, but slowly begins to grow, spread, and, all of a sudden, turns into something massive. Well, that's exactly the atmosphere surrounding St. James Park right now. Discreet signs, quiet conversations here and there, a few sharper glances during training sessions, and of course, that strange movement behind closed doors that always happens before something huge is about to break. And anyone who closely follows Newcastle knows when this kind of thing starts happening, it's because something big is coming. And listen, if you're a passionate Newcastle United supporter, the kind who doesn't want to miss a single thing happening behind the scenes at our club, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to the channel right now. It massively helps us to keep growing and, more importantly, ensures that you get first-hand updates, rumors and transfer news that could directly impact our team. So don't waste time, hit that subscribe button and come with us to follow every detail of this story that's just getting started. The truth is, Newcastle United mean business in this transfer window. The club is more focused than ever on strengthening key areas, especially the defense. And make no mistake, this isn't just any regular movement. We're talking about scouts mobilized, agents moving behind the scenes, and meetings happening far from the spotlight, exactly the way major transfers tend to play out. Anyone keeping a close eye has already noticed the board's determination to bring in big names, players who arrive to be starters and make a real difference from day one. In fact, over the past few days, some very reliable sources have confirmed that the club is watching two big names who have been shining on the European scene. One of them, in particular, has been on Newcastle's radar for over a year now. This isn't some last-minute interest or a sudden decision. This is something that's been built, analyzed, and studied carefully so that every step is taken with total security and within the technical staffs and the board's plans. And now, yes, it's time to open the game to you, the supporter. According to information confirmed by Geordie Bootboys and journalist Graham Bailey from TBR Football, Newcastle United have officially opened talks with the representatives of Ousmane Diomande, the Ivorian centre-back currently playing for Sporting in Portugal. The 21-year-old has been leaving a seriously strong impression on the club's scouts, who have been closely following his development for about a year. To give you an idea of how big this potential deal is, Diomande's agents have already sat down with Newcastle officials to discuss the terms of a possible transfer this summer. And believe me, it wasn't just a superficial chat. Sources say the talks made it very clear that the interest is real, concrete, and that Diomande's name is indeed among the top priorities for strengthening Eddie Howe's defense. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, my friend, you're definitely missing out on valuable information. Subscribe now because, besides this transfer news, we're bringing you firsthand. There's a lot going on behind the scenes at Newcastle that could directly impact next season. So if you don't want to miss anything, hit that button and turn on notifications, because there's plenty of hot news coming your way. The most interesting part is that Newcastle's interest in Diomande isn't something recent. According to Graham Bailey, the club has been keeping a close eye on the centre-back's performances since last season, and it's no surprise, really. The young defender has been standing out not just for his defensive qualities but also for his technical ability. He's one of those modern centre-backs capable of using both feet, excellent on the ball, and physically very strong. For those who love stats, the numbers are truly impressive. According to data from specialist site FBref, Diomande ranked in the 96th percentile among top centre-backs across Europe's Big Five leagues last year for passes attempted, pass completion rate, and, believe it or not, touches in the attacking penalty area. This proves he's not just a defensive player but also a key part of his team's attacking build-up. And when we talk about defense, strength in aerial duels is absolutely crucial in the Premier League, right? And in this department, Diomande stands out too. Nobody in Sporting's current squad won more aerial duels than him last season, with an average of 2.51 per game. Just to give you some context, at Newcastle, the only player who had better numbers was Dan Burn, with an average of 4 per game. This shows that the Ivorian would definitely arrive to raise the level of our defensive line. And it's not just technically that he impresses. Sporting's manager Ruben Amorim has publicly praised the defender's qualities. According to Amorim, Diomande is an extremely talented player, capable of playing with both feet, physically outstanding, and with an incredible growth potential. He even revealed that, at the time of signing Diomande, the club had to promise the young player he would have opportunities in the first team to convince him to join. But as with everything in the Premier League, the competition is fierce. Newcastle are not alone in this race. Diomande has also attracted the attention of other major English clubs who are keeping a close eye on his progress in Portugal. Among them is Crystal Palace, who, by the way, also have another player on Newcastle's radar, Marc Guéhi. In fact, the Newcastle board even opened talks about Guéhi, but according to sources, the player feels comfortable staying at Selhurst Park. And look, this makes it very clear that Diomande isn't just a backup option, he is a highly strategic target for Newcastle. The idea is to sign a young centre-back with huge potential. Someone who can strengthen the squad immediately but also develop into one of the club's key assets in the medium term. and of course, someone whose market value will only continue to grow across European football. By the way, let me remind you once again, if you want to stay up to date with every single detail of this and other deals Newcastle are working on, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That simple click makes a huge difference so we can keep bringing you exclusive, well-sourced, and constantly updated information. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Alright. The truth is, Newcastle know very well that they need to reinforce their defense if they truly want to fight for big things next season. Sven Botman's injury, which will still take time to recover, combined with some limitations in the squad, has made the board prioritize bringing in at least one top-level centre-back, and Diomande looks like a piece that fits perfectly into this puzzle. Of course, every negotiation comes with its challenges. Besides competition from other clubs, Newcastle will need to negotiate directly with Sporting, who won't make it easy to let go of one of their top players. According to the information circulating behind the scenes, the figures involved are quite significant, especially since Diomande has a long contract and a release clause that protects the Portuguese club from losing him easily. On the other hand, the fact that Diomande's representatives are indeed open to negotiations and have already held direct talks with Newcastle is a clear sign that there is room to move forward. Discussions are happening, terms are being worked out, and if all goes well, Newcastle could very well surprise the market with yet another big signing this summer. And to you who've made it this far, let me remind you one last time, subscribe to the channel right now. It's absolutely essential if you don't want to miss any updates about this negotiation and every other move Newcastle are making in the market. We're keeping a close eye on everything, gathering information from sources like Geordie Bootboys, TBR Football, and journalists who are right on top of every detail in this process. Finally, all eyes are now on the coming days. Newcastle are expected to speed up talks, both with the players' representatives and with Sporting, to try and get this deal done as soon as possible. And of course, we'll be right here, following everything closely to keep you fully informed about every step of this negotiation which, if completed, could be a real game changer for our defense next season. So that's it, folks. Stay tuned, because there's a lot more coming, and if you want to be the first to know everything, you already know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and join us. Because the transfer market is on fire and Newcastle are working hard to make the squad even stronger. Let's go together, because here, you always get the news firsthand.